Hello, good morning. Today is the 6th of April. We're up to day 49, which means we're at week 7. Some minor celebrations there. I'm feeling a little groggy, it's kind of early, but I'm trying to get these things out first thing while my brain's still working, so you'll have to bear with for that. But yeah, 7 weeks. It's funny, yesterday we were talking about why my energy levels have been kind of low. My wife and I, after we got done working out, and I thought maybe it's, I think it's the iron levels. I've been anemic most of my life thanks to Crohn's, and um, I've had troubles with keeping my iron levels up to a certain level, and iron is one of those big things that helps with energy and it helps with brain function and that kind of thing. So I've been supplementing heavily on it. I haven't been able to take like prescription iron. It's like eating sandpaper. And if you can imagine sandpaper running through your stomach, you'll imagine what it's like to take prescription iron. Not pleasant at all. But I was forced to think about how long it's been since I've had such a long break from video games. 7 weeks is the longest I've been without playing a game at all in maybe 22 years. And I hadn't really considered that, and I had thought maybe while we were talking that maybe the the 22 years of the 22 years of no video games had something to do with it as well, that maybe my brain isn't used to sort of not having this level of stimulation all the time, and that there's an issue with that. I'm hypothesizing, of course. I don't really know if that's the case. It could be, or it may not. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that it's been over 22 years that I've gone this long without playing video games, and that's significant because it tells me that I've spent 22 years with a hobby that's been, at times appropriate, but at also a lot of times inappropriate. The amount of time that I've spent video gaming, it's shocking to me. As an adult, looking back on it, it's shocking to me that I spent that much time video gaming, because some of it was social, certainly, and some of it, I got some social experience out of it when I played World of Warcraft and Battlefield, console gaming with friends when I was younger, but that's definitely not the case. It wasn't the case in the later stages of that, the last 12 years for sure, particularly during my first marriage. A lot of the video gaming was escaping feeling unhappy, and 22 years since I was 16. So for those of you who can math, you can figure out pretty close to what my age is. And that's it's a real thing. It's a real thing. How much time I threw away outside of the social experiences and the fun that I had. How much time I put into something that didn't really return anything. Not money, not education, not work experience. So it was kind of a shock. It was kind of a shock to realize that I had spent so much time sort of locked away. Locked away doing nothing. Reading. I might as well have just been reading. In fact, reading probably would have been better for me. If I had been reading, I probably would have learned some things. But I also think that that's the reason why it took me so long to get back to school and to get back to study and to get back to development, is because that time spent video gaming kind of dumbed me up. I wasn't developing my mind, I wasn't developing my thoughts or my feelings about things. I was just throwing my time away at a dopamine fueling activity and I wasn't bettering myself, and then I wondered why it was that my peers were moving on and doing things with their lives, and I was still not doing shit. And that, the jealousy and the inadequacy that you feel when you see people who've got things that you don't have, that was a big part of it too, and then so you want to shelter yourself away. We talked about that yesterday, the two sides of it, the dope in the video games, how it keeps you from wandering, keeps your brain from thinking about things that are unhappy or displeasing. Anyway, 22 years. And I wouldn't even know how long the longest break was before then. Maybe when I was in the oil field for a month might have been the longest break. Yeah, probably was. Well, no. No, it would have been when I was in the military. It would have been boot camp on the military. So, but even then, that's still 16 years ago. That's still a 16-year break, or sorry, a 16-year period that I gamed compulsively after boot camp was over. So I can't even really claim that. I'm going to go with 22 years though, because I think boot camp was extenuating circumstances. It wasn't exactly voluntary. If I had been able to play video games, I would have. And I wasn't choosing to step away from them as so much as I was, desperate, and I needed something to do that was productive. Anyway, I have a lot to do today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on it. Happy week 7. Anyone who's watching this, who's counting along with me, or who's also quitting, keep it up. Hang in there. I know I'm not exactly one of the best YouTube content creators. I've noticed a pattern in content creators. I'll make this my last point briefly before I fuck off ski. But I've noticed a pattern with content creators is that you have to talk fast, you have to make rapid cuts, you got to keep you got to talk like this, keep your eyebrows up and talk fast and blah 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 blah. It's like you got to read everything off a script to be able to let your brain keep up with what's going on, and you got to make sure that you have your intro and your outro the same, and smash the like and subscribe button, and what else? You've got to have behind you's got to be paraphernalia from the thing whatever the thing is that you're in. It's funny to me because there doesn't seem to be all that much originality on YouTube. It's all everybody just copying everyone else, which most of art is just plagiarism, really. But I guess the question then is do you classify all that as art, or is it all just people trying to get a slice of an ever increasing or maybe ever decreasing pie? Well, that ain't me. So you're going to get the same beginning and the same ending and the same boring monotone through the fucking course of the video. Anyway, like I said, if you're keeping up with me, if you're at week 7 as well, congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing it right, and stay with it. The rewards are far outweighing the negatives. That's it from me. Ka kite.